Hello, my name is Magdalena, and today I will show you how to plan your garden step by step. If you dream of a beautiful, functional space but don't know where to start, then this episode is for you as a garden design company. We often encounter questions about how to avoid chaos in the planning of the home garden. Ill-considered decisions can lead to costly repairs and wasted time. Can you avoid it? All you have to do is approach this process methodically, following a few simple rules that I'll give you in a moment. Let's start the episode. The first and most important thing is to define the functions that are in the garden. The garden is intended to serve specific purposes and be adapted to the needs of householders. Before you start drawing a project, answer a few key questions. Who'll use the garden and what do the landlords like to do in it? Whether you need a place to relax, family holiday, play for children, or meet with friends. Now that you know what you want to do in the garden, think about it. The zones will be suitable for these needs. Think about the size of the particular zones. Zapisz na przykład strefa paleniska 5 pola 5 taras przy domu 5x6, strefa z kopanym basenem 6 z 10 metry. Think about what plants you like the most. Conifers, deciduous or flowering trees, shrubs or herbs. It is also important what color you prefer, whether you prefer calm green or maybe vibrant color compositions. Another important point is this. What do you want to hide or cover in your garden? Maybe you're bothered by a busy road, noise from neighbors, or just an ugly sight. At the same time, think about which places or views are worth highlighting, or do you want to add something special to your garden? For example, a climatic gazebo, lighting, sauna, or garden balcony. Also consider whether the garden space should have regular geometric lines or more relaxed, natural lines. See our garden designs to be inspired by the possibilities. Link do galerii znajdziesz w opisie filmu. Uzyskałeś wszystkie niezbędne informacje. These answers will allow you to plan your garden so that it meets all your expectations and is a place that you will actually use on a daily basis. Now it's time to enter. Take a large piece of paper, preferably in a grid, and draw your plot on a scale. If you have a geodetic map, it will make it a lot easier to precisely delineate boundaries and map out existing features like driveways, garages, trees, or shrubs. Divide the space into utility zones according to the previous arrangements and the needs of the householders. Remember, this is not yet the final project. This is just the first sketch to help you better understand the dependencies on the mark plot. For leisure, children's play areas, vegetable garden, home terrace, and other functional points so that daily use of the garden was comfortable and intuitive. For example, a barbecue area too far away from home can be cumbersome because you'll have to carry everything. On the other hand, a fireplace placed too close to the terrace or windows can cause discomfort due to smoke. Therefore, even before implementation, it is worth thinking about how to arrange all the functions so that the garden is comfortable. And family-friendly. Think about where you'd like to put the pergola or the fireplace. These are elements that create an atmosphere and invite you to spend time outside. Also, check out paths and plant surfaces, stone, gravel, or wood. Their style should match your garden character. Don't forget the lights. It creates a unique atmosphere in the evening. You can plant solar lamps along the paths, kinkies on the elevation, or spotlights W. Yes, when the main utility functions and elements of small architecture are already planned, the garden will start to gain a skeleton. Then you can move on to planning the lawn proportions and planting rebates. Now you can finally decide which part of the garden to use for lawn and which part for rebates. By default, in most gardens that we design, the proportion is 70% lawn and 30% rebate. Of course, this is only an average, which means that one client will have a ratio of 60-40 and another will have a ratio of 80-20. How should you decide how much lawn and how much discount should your garden have? There are a few key elements. First of all, the cost of lawn is much cheaper to make than plant rebates. The average cost of making a lawn is 3-4 times less than the cost of doing the discount. Second, maintenance, both lawns and rebates, require work to maintain them. The lawn requires systematic mowing at least once a week. In addition to watering and other care treatments throughout the year, well-planned plant rebates require our attention 2 or 3 times a year. Third, the appearance and style of the garden. If you want to have specific plants in your garden or like a given solution, you should consider them. Even if the rebates are a big part of the garden, you can always plant smaller plants, which will also reduce costs. A properly designed lawn can mow itself using a robot lawn mower. Watering, in turn, will do automatic irrigation for us. This will save you time and energy on your garden design. Now draw the line separating the lawn from the lawn. It will take into account the shape of your garden. Do you prefer straight, geometric, or natural lines? Wavy edges outline elements, rebate, and lawn on the plan. Remember, it's good when plants are on sale. If you want to put a tree in the middle of the lawn, it's worth setting a rebate under it. Also, that freestanding vegetation does not interfere with the maintenance and use of the garden. Plant selection, how to plan planting. The key principle in the design of plantings is we start with the largest elements, and we move on to the smaller ones. This gives the garden structure and order. We start with the trees. They form the backbone of the garden and provide shade. They should be ornamental, fruity, or coniferous, depending on their function. It is also worth considering the issue of privacy in the garden. If you want to hide the view of the street, the neighbors, or the garbage dump, plant cover plants. The most common solutions are the hedges of sisa, grab, god, or laura. Cherries grow densely, withstand cutting well, and quickly give effect. They can be shaped or managed in a more natural form. A good solution is also the vine swino blue or ivy pujniki and others. They cover pergolas, fences, or unsightly walls. However, if you have a beautiful view, don't obscure it. Leave the space open and emphasize it with lighting or decoration from small garden architecture. The next step is large shrubs. We plant them under trees or make hedges out of them. They introduce an extra layer of greenery and help divide the space. They're great as a shield from the neighbors. Plant medium-sized shrubs, often flowering plants that add color and lightness. They act as a filler between larger plants. They add softness and harmony to the garden. At the end, we plant herbs and low plants. It is these that create colorful rebates and emphasize the style of the garden. Keep in mind to plant the taller plants in the back and the lower ones in the front. This arrangement is both practical and aesthetic. Plan the flowering season so that the garden looks good all year round, from spring to fall. Check out our ready-made designs rabat and will match your garden. Thanks to him, for a fraction of the price, zaprojektujesz swoje rabatas i unikniesz bugs z kodem uzyskasz 50% rabat. All information will find in the description below the film. Your garden will gain depth and you will find a perfect place to rest. It all depends on what you want to expose and what you want to hide. And these are all the steps that will allow you to plan the garden of dreams. Step by step, from the needs analysis through the preliminary design to the selection of plants and elements of small architecture. As you can see, you don't have to be a landscape architect to create a functional and beautiful space around your home. The key is good preparation and thoughtful decisions. This way, you'll avoid costly mistakes and gain a garden that you'll actually use. I hope this episode helped you sort things out, all the ideas, and inspired you to act. In the description of this video, we include a few more important entries from our blog that will help you create your garden. And if you want to make your job easier, check out the ready-made rebate projects. In the description below the film, you will find all the information, along with the discount code. And if you have any questions, feel free to write in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.